This video covers a brief introduction to Part B of the paper for Unit 2, Creating Systems to Manage Information. So on the first page we've just got some general information. Part B is quite separate to Part A, done on a different day to Part A. Let's just have a look through the paper. So on the first page we've got some instructions for the invigilators for the exam, and then scrolling down on the next page we've got the outcomes for the learners. As with paper A, you will need to submit your work in a folder, and it gives you the name that you should give your folder that you're going to submit your work in. And we've got an example here, and it is your centre number which will be provided in the exam, your BTEC registration number, followed by your surname, your initial of your first name, and then Part B. And you will submit 3 PDF documents in Part B, and again it tells us for each activity how the files names, how they should be named, how the files should be named. Again, don't worry if you can't remember it from here, it does remind you in each task of how you need to name the files. Scrolling down, we've got instructions, and as before in Part A, plan your time carefully. It does on each activity give you a guidance of how much time you should spend on each activity. You've got no internet access. You complete the tasks and activities under supervision, and your work's going to be kept securely at all times. You do have to work independently throughout the exam, and you must not share your work with any of the others. The invigilator may clarify wording that appears in the task, but cannot provide any guidance on the actual completion of the task. You've no access to your Part A, part of the exam, in Part B. So it tells you here about creating your folder again, and also about naming the documents that go into the folder. And then scrolling down, we've actually got a task scenario. So let's just have a quick read through this, because it does give us some indicators, pointers in the scenario that we're going to be using later on in the tasks. So, Automatic Vending Services has partially developed a database that will eventually merge with the database you've created in Part A. Each machine belongs to a brand, for example, BTEC Easy Life. Each drink is sold for £1.20. Each machine has a meter that counts how many drinks are purchased. Once a week, a meter reading and money collected are recorded from each machine. The meter reading is compared to the most recent reading stored to calculate how many drinks have been sold, how much money should have been collected, and whether an engineer needs to check the machine is working correctly. So little indicators to me here. We've probably got some kind of validation on the brand. We're probably going to be using this drink sold £1.20 in some sort of calculation. We're probably going to be doing a calculation for the number of drinks that have been purchased or sold. And here we've got the calculation for the money collected. And then there'll be some calculations here once the meter reading has been compared. Let's just scroll down and we're straight into the activities. So I'm going to cover the activities. There's 2 forms to create. I'm going to cover each one separately in their own little video, and then I'll do a video at the end as well that covers completing the Activity 6 template. So the next video will cover the input form, Form A, in Task Activity 6.